Chuck sort of upturns the whole idea of free will and whether or not the boys will be even heroes. Can you talk about how that's going to change the...
Well, I think everybody is profoundly messed up because when your belief systems are screwed up with, when things that you've come to accept that sort of get you through the day, and suddenly somebody comes to you and says, sorry, that's not really the case, the rug is really pulled out from under you. And we actually spend chunks of the first several of the episodes, people just recovering from that. And when you think about the boys who, they said, okay, we accept the fact that God is not really watching us every day, and they stepped away, and we'll pick up that mantle and try to, save the world. But then when he comes back and says, oh no, I've actually been watching you, I've been actually arranging this stuff. So that's one thing for them. That's an enormous thing to suddenly accept. But then think of Castiel. Because Cass had been in heaven, and he was a loyal soldier. He believed all the company line about what they were doing and the protection of mankind. And it really shakes him to his core. So those are interesting scenes that I don't think the show has ever done before. So it really takes us off into new turf.
So I was wondering, they announced it was in the middle of last season that it was going to be the final season.
Right.
Did you already have the idea that Chuck was going to be the big bad, or did you sort of reevaluate the season?
No. That all started evolving a little later on. I mean, we kind of had the idea of Chuck maybe not being what you thought, but then it just took on a life of its own and really got rolling.
This is probably spoiler territory, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Can you tease any returning characters or familiar faces?
I think that's one of the really fun things about this particular season is that this season is all about paying honor to the past of the past 14 seasons. And so there's going to be a number of people coming back. They may be doing fresh things that you haven't quite seen them do before, and they may come back under different circumstances. But, Rowena's going to be back, Ketch will be back, a number of demons from earlier seasons are going to be back. So it's just going to be, I think, a rollout of a lot of fun with those characters, but also they're going to be doing things that they haven't done before. And I think that's one of the more exciting aspects of this season is that it actually is covering new turf instead of just, doing the things that have worked for us and just going out on a high note. Actually, it's going to be quite experimental, so I hope that all works, and we're having fun with it.
Can we expect like another family reunion with Jeffrey Morgan, something like that? Heaven, maybe?
Not that I've noticed that it's planned, but you never know. I mean, we haven't laid out literally the entire season yet, so it just depends on what works with what's going on.
Any more fun, like meta Scooby Natural, Francis Jacob episodes coming up?
Not planned so far, but a lot of times they aren't planned. I know what the mid-season finale is, and a lot of times those kinds of episodes happen then, but you never know. It's going to be a jam-packed season. There's just a lot of ground to cover in those 20 episodes. We only got 20 now.
Is there anything in particular you're fighting for right now that you would like to see happen?
Not that... I don't feel like it has to be fought for because so much stuff has been agreed to, and it's surprisingly, you kept thinking, how do we pull off an end season, which is one of the really difficult things to pull off. And so far, it's kind of lining up, and it's event-driven, but it's also character-driven, which is really the show's sweet spot. And you fall in love with these characters and see them do the stuff that you know they can do. I think it's kind of lining up pretty well.
What can you tease about Sam and Dean's arc this season?
Say what?
Sam and Dean's arc this season. What can you tease about that?
Well, like I said, it affects both guys as often as the case. The guys react differently to a situation or a low blow that they've just received. And when one person reacts badly, the other one's got to pull the other one up by his bootstraps. So there's a little bit of that going back and forth. There's a lot of disagreement initially about how to handle the situation at hand. Should we handle the situation at hand? So there's a lot of that going on. There may be a little romance that folks have had up. So there's just odds and ends, things like that. But it's because of the enormity of the situation. It really is all hands on deck. So.
Will Dick Spade be coming back to direct any episodes?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's doing, he's doing three.
Do you
feel additional pressure because of how Game of Thrones ended and the reaction from both fans?
I mean, achieving that. I think the pressure comes from what you don't want is a backlash.
Yes.
You certainly don't want a bunch of disappointed fans, but unless we are totally wrong, I think this ending is going to deliver.
Good.
I know every time we talk about it, we get about stuff. So it's I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
But don't totally be that.
Do you think Mr. Kripke might come back from the
I can't imagine that he would get involved because he's got a new series right now that they're trying to get up and running, and the amount of backbreaking work that involves, as much as he'd love to, maybe a cameo. But I don't know. Yeah.
There's been a lot of starts and stops with different planned spin-offs that have been not really taken off. Are there conversations possibly to keep the universe and the story
There's
going?
still, there are those conversations. It seems to me that every time that there was a spin-off, the level of that Supernatural operates at with the chemistry among the cast that was, they kept assembling cast that you kept hitting gold with. And to try to match that with people that you don't know and haven't fallen in love with, I think is a very, very hard task. And so I think it's not that some of the spin-off attempts were terrible, it's just when held up to the original. I think that was kind of the problem.